Hello everybody, welcome to today's webinar where we are talking about all things sustainability in business. Please hold just a moment or two while we welcome all of our participants onto today's webinar. Welcome everybody, happy Monday. I can see we've got many participants joining us. We'll get started in just a moment. Perfect. Well, good morning once more. I am Sharon Harvey and I will be assisting today's webinar talking about all things sustainability in business. It is Business South's absolute pleasure to be here today having this conversation with you, and we are absolutely privileged to be joined by our guest presenter, Sustainability Living Consultant, Milca Perez. Before we officially begin, however, what I would like to do is an acknowledgement of country. So Business South acknowledges the traditional owners of the land where we work and live. We pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. We celebrate the stories, culture, and traditions of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elders of all communities who also work and live on this land. So our attendees that's joining us for the first time, I will share just briefly who we are and what Business South delivers for small business owners here in Southern Tasmania. So as I said, my name is Sharon, and together with my esteemed colleague, Michaela, we are Business South. Business South is a not-for-profit organisation which exists to support, promote and encourage entrepreneurship and self-employment in southern and southeastern Tasmania. We're proudly funded by the Australian government Workforce Australia Entrepreneurship Facilitator Program, which allows us to provide all of our services free of charge to you. We do offer one-to-one support. We assist you to upskill and learn through our workshops, and we offer networking opportunities to support our small business community. As I said, it's absolutely our privilege to be here today, and we are joined by Milca Perez, our guest presenter and sustainability living consultant. Milca is respected by us in this space. You will come to hear why, and we'll learn more about Milca throughout today's presentation. So welcome, Milca. The stage is yours. Over to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me and all the people is taking time to attend this webinar. So as the presentation you can see on your screen, today I'm going to show you an overview of why sustainability matters to your business as an opportunity to innovate and grow. So let's see the next slide. So learning outcome. Today, we're going to talk about why, how, and actions. So if you already have implemented sustainability in your business, today I can share with you probably some new update knowledge. And if you are just thinking or begin to think to use sustainability in your business, definitely you're going to get a big learning outcome and good base. So next presentation. Before we go through the sustainability topic, something that usually we get very often as a feeling is the feeling of being overwhelmed, which means it is fair enough because sustainability is a system that is changed all the time very rapidly. New information, new legislation, innovations, strategies is coming basically every single year. And how I do manage to don't feel too overwhelmed, because if we get stuck in this feeling, we usually block ourselves and can not think out of the box to take better decisions. So my recommendation when you feel like this is to tune into the present moment. And how do we do that? So basically, if you are listening to this recording, and you're trying to cook dinner at the same time, or make your social media planning going, that is the opposite of tune into the present moment. So basically what I'm trying to say is use this 40 minutes that you have dedicated to listen my voice and take understanding better of what we are trying to get across with this message. And there's also two practices that I recommend that are totally free, that you don't need to go anywhere to do it. And it's practice gratitude. And how do you do that? So for instance, if you are in the car and you go into a meeting with your stakeholder or stockist, just be aware and be grateful and just say that to yourself. And if you can say it to your staff, or your members or your colleague, it's a good practice to start the day, and that overwhelming feeling is going to decrease. And then grounding, which is quite simple, is just walk barefoot in contact with Mother Earth. And in this one, I was watching the other day a TV show in Byron Bay, where these real estate agents just walk barefoot. Well, there's $2 million houses, but what I noticed is that walking barefoot through the property. So you can implement it maybe in a creative way also in your business. So the goal today is talk about what is sustainability in business. But before we talk about the business in itself, I would like you to take some notes in your workbook or notebook and think about this question. What comes to your mind when you hear the word sustainability? It may come one word, 2, 3 words. If you need to come back to this exercise, please do take your time if you needed to reflect more about it. But the good news is not a right or wrong answer to this question, because actually sustainability means something different for all of us. For a person living in different continent, different country, it's going to mean something completely different maybe, or maybe similar to someone living in rural Tasmania as I do, because we have different background, different cultures, governments, upbringing. So it's fair enough to have a different understanding of what sustainability is. However, something we need to be agree is 2 things. The first one is sustainability is a journey toward to better decisions. And what I mean with this is first recognizing that we have done some mistakes, but we are willing to learn from those mistakes and not continue doing the same that is been harming not just the planet, but also our society and our economy. And the other definition that you're going to hear a lot, if you hasn't already, is the one who was written in 1987 in the Brundtland Report, which defines sustainable development meets the need of the present generation without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. So basically, again, living the present moment, but also taking responsibility of the generations that are coming they're coming to live in this planet and the future. And if you don't have children, well, it's a lot of children in the world. So empathy also need to be applied in this definition. So our next slide is about sustainable choices. So maybe you already are using sustainability in your business without even realizing. So we're going to go through a list of examples, and then we're going to have our first poll. So I recommended to take some notes maybe about this. So the first one in our list is reuse plastic packaging. If you are a service or you're selling a product, a retailer, packaging is always going to be in your supply chain. Or you buy something or you sell something with packaging. So make sure if you could reuse that is a very good starting point. Then go paperless. If you're printing emails or you have to print documents, maybe you can use for both sides, print on both sides, and perhaps get a paper which is FSC certified. Your stationery also, think about that in your office. Number 3, start a compost in your office. Maybe you can start a composting box and then take that over the weekend to your house, or take turns with your staff members, and each one can take it to home, and slowly increase this mindset of reuse of that waste that you have at the office with food. Just reuse it and put it in the soil. Then donate excess. This one is remind me when I used to work, when I was studying in Melbourne, I used to work parallel in a French bakery. And every night, every day, usually we used to throw a lot of bread, and beautiful bread, baguettes, sourdoughs. And unfortunately, this is 10 years ago. So unfortunately, this now become more notorious. So if you are in the hospitality or bakery or restaurants, you should be more aware about what happened with your food excess, and perhaps trying to find a way of considering donate them. Then green energy hosting. So this is very important for the people working in web design, for instance, or for us, like using webinar and using online studies or teaching, that we think, we're all good because it's online, I'm not using paper or packaging. Well, actually, this service is provided by energy. So we need energy. And if that energy is green energy, that would be a step forward to a more sustainable business. Then using sustainable materials in your manufacturing process. If you cannot use sustainable materials, perhaps you can partnership with people that are using sustainable materials. So that will make your supply chain a better for your customers. And then what about using your reusable mug as an example for your employers or for your customers, instead to use a coffee cup? And recycle bin, something very easy to implement in your studio, in your office. And same example than the coffee mug, reusable water bottles instead of buying plastic bottles. So Sharon, I don't know if we can do the first poll. And this is how many examples have you implemented in your business already? That it's okay. We can, let's see if one of these examples has less resonate with you.
So we've had some response, Milca. We have 67% saying 2, 33% saying 3+, and 0% saying 1.
Well, congratulations, everybody. A big applause. Because you are in the right path. And that makes me so happy, because that means the people we are talking with is people already aware and interested to implementing this little step by step. So yes, thank you, Sharon. If we can finish the poll and then save the result, and I can continue the presentation. Okay, let's close that. So our next topics is talk about values. And why values matters in sustainability? Well, it's basically because our motivation and our actions are running by our values. And our values are the ones are going to reflect in our mission, vision, purpose, business model, and in the long run or long term, those values are the one is going to make our business less or more sustainable. So our values are related to our goals, and then when we define those values, it's going to make us easy to recognize our ecological footprint, for example, or to choose which resources to use instead to others. So there are two kinds of values, the intrinsic and extrinsic values. So for example, intrinsic values are the ones when we concern for others. For instance, charities are very good with intrinsic values. Connection with nature, social justice, creativity are some of the examples. And extrinsic values are the values are centered in external approval. For example, materialistic success, social status, social power, authority. So one point that I want to get across of this, we're not charging other people's other business values. We just identify them, because according to those values is how your business is going to reflect and communicate and show, choose your stakeholders, choose your supply, and your customers are going to match with your brand. So a good example of extrinsic values are this movie, The Wolf of Wall Street with Leonardo DiCaprio. So extrinsic values, as you see, he's a boss that is based in social power, social status, which is fair enough. I said we're not charging the values, but we can identify very notoriously. If you haven't watched the movie, that's a good example for you to watch it and understand about extrinsic values. And again, why is important? Because why this is also a holistic presentation is because it's our body, our mind, and our spirit in one point of running our business. Those values are going to come through, and people are going to see these values. So let's go now to the next learning outcome, which is how we get across all this, what we know about sustainability, values, how we get across to our customers and implemented that in our business. So this research is from 2022 for over 1,000 adults in the United States, where 66% of them mentioned they are willing to pay more for sustainable product, which is very good, because that means that demand in there, and people are realizing that they may have to pay extra when the brand, the product, or the service is sustainable. Also, 82% of them mentioned that they want brand that their values align with their own. So again, that's another very good reason for you to put attention in your values. And the values of your business, obviously, they're going to reflect. So another survey, this is from 2019 with 2,000 Australian customers. And this one is also very interesting because they said 72% of them, they don't believe some brands are environmentally friendly as they said they are. So you may ask yourself, why? Why our customers don't believe we are sustainable if you already are? And then this is again very important for you to understand how your customers think, feel, and perhaps maybe you can do some research in your field and understand why they get confused. And then it's an opportunity for you to clarify and identify your selling point of your brand in your business. So I have an idea why the customers may feel that this risk from brand and businesses, and it's because it's something that is called greenwashing. For the people who's not familiar with the concept yet, so greenwashing is basically marketing your product using words like eco, conscious, sustainable, no toxic, green, environmental friendly, recyclable, when actually is not. So when you get to this conflict, for example, if your agency, your marketing agency or your graphic designer or your web designer is telling you, oh, you must use these words in your copywriting and your social media because it's going to uplift your algorithm and people is going to get more interested in your brand. Well, if you actually are not, that means it's not just unethical, but also is illegal. So to learn more about this topic, you can visit the Australian Consumer Law and read the section number 18 and 29. Also, you can see Australian Competitions and Customer Commission and see how greenwashing fake online reviews has been detected and is going to become a big thing as an illegal thing to do with your business. Sorry. And also 200 companies website, it will be reviewing across Australia in the energy, vehicles, household products and applications, food and drinks, packaging, cosmetic, clothes and footwear. So the fields are very broad, and this is going to get more and more difficult for business to go across without having be detected. Okay, so basically don't do greenwashing. Then okay, now we're going to go through the frameworks. So we're going to mention 3 frameworks, very surface, because they're each one on their own, we probably need another 30 to 40 minutes to talk about them. So I'm just going to mention, and then we're going to do a poll of which of these frameworks resonate with you. So the first one is called the triple bottom line, or the 3 pillars of sustainability. This concept has been around 25 years now. And as you see in the pictures, people, planet, and profit. Some of these are changing now. For people, instead of people, we talk about society. Instead of planet, they change to environment. And instead of profit, economic. So the 3 of them working in balance, it should give you a sustainable business model. Number 2 is the framework of circular economy. So this again has been around since 1976 and is a model that trying to renovate or rethink about the linear model that we had been using probably for the last 200 years since after industrial revolution, and is based in take, make, waste. And that is the end of life of your product. Then circular economy is trying to make you rethink about this linear economy system by using concepts like rethink, refuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle. And most of the misconceptions about circular economy is many people think it's just about recycling when it's not. Other people think it's a perfect circle when actually it's not. It's a lot of interconnections in between. And again, another misconception is it will happen instantaneously when it's quite impossible, to be honest, because it needs a lot of work and it's step by step. It's not something you can just copy paste and it's going to be implemented. It needs a work of different spectrums like product concept, manufacturing, transport, and etc. And our last framework is the Sustainable Development Goals. So if you're not familiar with them, you could you do your own research and search for SDGs. And they're been in the sustainable vocabulary since 2015. So our government, Australian government, is part of the 193 a nation that adopt this framework and this agenda to reach these 17 goals for 2030. So when we're talking about the Sustainable Development Goal, you are going to hear this a lot in the academia, in the government, in strategies, law, legislations, and businesses. Mostly businesses, because businesses are the major income for the economic growth of any nation. So now, Sharon, if we can do our second poll or launch the second poll, which is which one of these three frameworks resonate with you most?
So we've got 67% saying circular economy, and we have 33% the 3 Ps of the triple bottom line.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sharon. Okay, so I will say you need to definitely research more about the Sustainable Development Goal, just because it's going to get more stronger and stronger from here to 2013. And the example that I have is how the World Vision, which is a charity, an international charity working with children in disadvantage. So how this organization, which is a service, how use the Sustainable Development Goal, which is these three: no poverty, zero hunger, and good health and well-being. Then I have my own e-commerce as an example, how I do use these two frameworks in the spiritual and holistic industry. So I use number 3, number 12, which is responsible consumption and production, and 15, life on land. And then in the website and the e-commerce is the explanation in there, how do I use this sustainable development goal, and also how do I use the 3 pillars of planet, people, and prosperity. So what I'm trying to say here is it doesn't matter which business you are in, if it's a service or product or charity or not-for-profit or government, whatever business that you have, you could implement one or the 3 of these frameworks in your business. Okay, so here I recommend again, take some notes, maybe in your workbook, about this 4 key findings until here, until this presentation. So the first one is business as usual is not an option. So economic growth can and should occur without damaging the social fabric of a community or harming the environment. And I believe you are most 100% agree with this, otherwise you wouldn't be attending this webinar. And also the poll that we did at the beginning definitely show that you are interested in. Then number 2, ethical brands are in demand. Yes, absolutely. They are in demand. People, customers, consumers, target groups are definitely aware about this. Customers are more interested to know about your brand. And if you are not sure, I recommend it to you to do your own survey with your customers in your field, in your business. Number 3, it is not easy for customer to find transparency and sustainable brand. Well, this is, for me, I see it as an opportunity for you to show transparency in your supply chain, to tell your customer how your products are made, what happened with the waste in your service if you are a, hospitality, catering, selling food, or not just food, also clothing. And number 4, the opportunity to drive consumers to adopt more sustainable behaviors and lifestyle. This one is my favorite one, because as a brand designer, I believe with our brands and our business, we can definitely change and switch our customers' mentality. And it's a good opportunity in there for us to teach and show them how to improve their lifestyle and in a more sustainable way using our products or our services. Okay, so let's go to the next one. At this point, I think we have a very good base and understanding what does sustainability mean in business. And according to the Harvard Business, in business, sustainability refers to doing business without negatively impacting the environment, community, society as a whole, which is, if we go back to the frameworks, is based in the 3 pillars of sustainability. So yes, we need to make money, of course, otherwise business doesn't thrive. However, doing well is the challenge, and how you do well is doing good. So solving social and environmental problems is the shift that many business it should have. And if they don't, well, definitely they're going to face more challenges, not just from customers, also because legislations are going to be more stronger and stronger, which is finally government are taking their part in this journey toward to a more sustainable economy. Also, sustainability is quickly becoming a must-to-have in business. Yes, we are agree. How we do that? Well, we definitely need to learn some new skills. As I said at the beginning, it is overwhelming to talk about this because it's changing and moving. It's a system, it's a living system. And that means you can't get stuck in one thing. You need to be able to be open-minded, creative, and change your mindset as this is moving. So that mindset should reflect also in your employers, your managers, your stakeholders, your stockists, to build this capacity together in your organization, operation, and strategy. And perhaps become a brand that led culture change. And this is the new challenge or the new trend for the next 15, 20 years, where businesses it should, help our customer to shift this mindset and encourage them to have a more sustainable lifestyle. And our business, our brand are part of their journey to achieve this. Okay, so now we're getting almost close to the end. So take action, baby steps. Don't get stressed, otherwise you're gonna block your mind. We don't want that. We want your mind open. We want you to feel excited, creative, inspiration, so you can apply that to your business and you can enjoy your business, and that your customers are going to feel that, are going to see that. So first one that I do recommend, if you haven't already, is to maybe just go back, because I haven't watched it actually in the last year and a half. War on Waste series, that's a free on abc.net.eu, and that is going to give you a very, very good understanding, visual understanding of issues and possible solutions, and how business approach those challenges as an opportunity for their business. The second one is a documentary. It's in YouTube, free also. It's called Seeding the Change, The Power of Conscious Commerce. There are 4 or 5 businesses, social enterprises that they use sustainability, they use the Sustainable Development Goals, and they teach you and they show you how they use that to success with their businesses. Then 2040, the Australian documentary that I watched when it was launched in 2019. I recommend to watch this with your staff, with your family perhaps, because it's definitely a compelling vision of how the future it may look like in a positive way. And then if you're into the podcast, I recommend How to Lead a Sustainable Business with Alana Weston. And the second podcast is the Sustainable Business Podcast. Okay, then if you already are or you haven't think about it, I suggest to join to a movement that it will make you feel more connect with your customers. and your customer could identify you are part of this movement if it resonates to you, obviously. So if you work in the hairdressers, and which is one industry that is very unsustainable, because the product they use, even if they offer a service to the customer, the products are very difficult to. There's a lot of waste in basically in this industry. So the sustainable salons movement is a very good to understand and learn more how other hairdressers, salon, what they're doing regarding to this challenge. If you are in the fashion industry, or even if you are not and you want to learn more about where your clothes is made, how it get made, Fashion Revolution is a very good one to join. And finally, Plastic Free July and 1 Million Women's are also two movements that is going to give you very good inputs and good ideas. And the second slide, in taking actions. This one I always recommend because it's free. So it's subscribe to newsletters, and that is a very good way for you to keep updated with information on new trends or new products that is coming. So one I definitely recommend is Australian Circular Economy Hub. This one was launched during COVID. I attended online. It was in Sydney, obviously, but it was an online event. So this is recently happening in Australia, and the work that they do, and you could find in there a lot of case of studies of businesses using circular economy in their field. Then Business South newsletter, if you haven't, I recommend it to do so, because we are planning to, if we can, we are planning to do more workshops related to sustainability, perhaps circular economy too. The third one, if you are in the hospitality or selling takeaway food, please check this website, plasticfreeplaces.org. They are, if you become a member, you're going to get a lot of good information and pathways and advices for free to implement less plastic in your business. And if you're not aware, a single-use plastic ban by law is going to get more stronger and stronger in Australia. Next one is, if you want your business get recognized, I suggest visit EPA Sustainability Award Tasmania. If you are an artist, a creative person of your business, do creative stuff, check the Sustainable Waste 2 Art Prize. Also, the South Hobart Tip Shop every year organize an exhibition where you can, use waste and create some art or expose that. Then implement. Well, perhaps if you haven't yet used a sustainable business model Canva, which is basically a business model in one page, I recommend it to you do that exercise. And also tomorrow, 21st at 3 p.m. in Hobart, is a free public event run by Business Action Learning Tasmania. And they are going to show how to implement, how to work with this sustainable business model Canva. So if you can attend, that is for free. So check the website. Okay, so getting to the end now. If you remember the beginning when I asked you what are the first word or 3 words that come into your mind when you hear the word sustainability, well, for me are collaboration. Why? Because we can't do this on our own. We need to collaborate between businesses, stakeholders, suppliers, customers. Creativity, well, I'm a creative person. I come from design background. So for me, every challenge is an opportunity to get more creative. And empathy is very important for me because not everybody can maybe understand empathy, but we can use empathy in our business with our customers. And they will definitely be grateful for that. So the first, the top pictures, and wow, that's when I was 30. So 10 years ago, I was studying, as I said, in Melbourne, but I also were doing a lot of things. So I got collaboration with people in the fashion industry and start making upcycling accessories that I used to sell in markets and places like Friend of the Earth or Ceres in Fitzroy. Then that led me to work with a big charity in the fashion industry. I led a project in the Perth Fashion Festival in Restyle. So what we tried to get across in there that you didn't need to buy expensive and unsustainable clothing to look fashionable. So we work with fashion bloggers and charities. The bottom pictures is more recently. Last 2 years ago, I graduated in sustainable living. So my background, as I said, as a designer and innovation, I have different certifications in businesses and project management. So last year, I got a very good updated in sustainability. That's what I needed. And then that led me to work with my community and collaboration with different stakeholders. So finally, so last year I got 2 awards regarding to a community project that is called the Recycling Unit, and it's the first one in the Huon Valley. So not everything is profitable, as you see in this project. My values were people and planet and prosperity, but not in the profitable way. But maybe it could be an opportunity to become a social enterprise. So I'm open to suggestion. So getting to the end, if you scan that QR, that will take you to my business card. And it's time to say thank you very much. I really appreciate it for you guys to listen to this presentation. And also I did say that I'm very into holistic approach. And tonight is a new moon, which means a new beginning. So perhaps this presentation give you a very good inspiration to start doing good things. Thank you very much. Passing to you, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Milca. And what a positive note to leave on. We had all of our attendees stay throughout the whole webinar and no one disappeared, which is a great sign that everyone felt that it was very interactive and everyone really thoroughly enjoyed the webinar. So thank you so much for your time, energy, effort, and love in putting that together for us. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. Just a couple of final things before we wrap up. There will be a follow-on email that will come out to you all that have registered, and many that wanted to participate in today but were unable to join the live. So they registered to receive the recording. That will be in the email, as well as how you may if you choose to reach out to Milca, her details will be provided and how you can connect with her. We do invite you and encourage you to head on over to our social platforms at Business South on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and stay around our business community so you can be kept up to date with workshops like today and anything that is current in doing business here in the south of Tasmania. I would encourage and invite and request that everyone that is in our Facebook community group, that you do share some feedback, maybe an aha moment that you got from today's presentation over in our Facebook group. It is a fantastic way for us to gather feedback and to create yet another conversation on sustainability in business. If you aren't in the Facebook group, I will put the link in the email so you can join the Facebook group and further this conversation. And finally, if you are not on our email list, that is where you are genuinely first to hear of anything that we are doing or anything that's available to you as a small business owner. So do go over to our website, and right down the bottom, you'll be able to subscribe to our email list. We send genuinely a couple of emails a month, give or take, depending on what's going on, but that's where you'll get the most up-to-date information here from Business South. So on that note, thank you everyone again for your attention. Have a fantastic week ahead. And I look forward to speaking with you again soon, Milca, and take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.